Blog Talk Radio.
Hey guys, want to kill that cable bill? How about getting a Netmaster? You can watch live TV, pay-per-view, premium content like HBO and Stars, all of the sports channels like NBA League Pass, NFL Red Zone, and every movie ever made. Pay for the box once, no monthly fees ever. For more information, contact Dean 13 Media at 609-807-1175.
Are you looking to make your next event sizzle? Then you want to get in touch with Lee Entertainment. Mark Lee, the founder of Lee Entertainment, has worked with such notable festivals as the Art of Cool, the National Black Theater Festival, the Bull Durham Blues Festival, and the Durham Centerfest, as well as the Festival of the Eno. And it definitely can provide you with some great entertainers as well as help you make your event sizzle if you're looking forward to trying to have an event in your town. Mark Lee is willing to travel anywhere in this country to make your event sizzle and has entertainers that are also willing to travel as well. So if you're looking for quality entertainment, definitely get in touch at bluesradio@gmail.com.
The voice of the people is now known as Straight Talk with Dean and Mark. Call in and comment on the conversation at 646-668-8393.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is the second Monday in October, better known in many circles now as Indigenous Peoples Day. We're not going to name the other person, but it's the six-man Dean Geronimo, and from NJ to NC, I'm in the studio with my man Mark Lee. So, Mark, tell me what's good down in your neck of the woods, my brother.
Well, for one thing, some of my people are definitely celebrating it as Indigenous Day. I got a email from one of my cousins who's very much involved in the powwow culture and involved in her tribe with the Halawas. So I have different mixtures in me and everything. I do claim some of the Indian blood as well. So she definitely was sending me a dancing Indian to let us know that we need to be celebrating Indigenous Day, like you said. So we're not going to talk about the man that kind of like stole the country and came in here and was actually lost. How you get a holiday when you lost is beyond me. But he somehow got a holiday. Right. He was totally lost, had no clue where he was going, and all of that kind of stuff. So I do want to shout out Marsha Richardson for sending me that encouraging email, a little video thing that was real cool. So definitely want to shout out to her. And then, the other thing that was going on this weekend is the Blues Festival has gone through some little bit of rebranding, and we're trying to do some restructuring. But we had a legendary performers band in our house on Saturday. The Friday events, unfortunately, were not able to happen, so we canceled that. But we did have Saturday, and we had none other than the B.B. King Blues Band featuring the legendary Tito Jackson. So Tito Jackson was in the Hayti Heritage Center on Saturday evening, and he can still rock. He can still play that guitar. He can still do a lot of great things. So it was a great show. We had some great folks that were helping put that show on. So definitely shout out to the folks at the Hayti Heritage Center. Some of my coworkers like Sheila Pennington, of course, our boss Angela Lee, as well as Melody Little, and lots of Polly Whitted and others that helped put that on. And of course, I've got to give a shout out to two folks that really came in big time and helped us with the text, that being Owen Scott and a guy we like to call Dion. Some people call him Demos, but all of those are just some of the folks, John Paul as well. So there was a lot of folks that had their hands on this event, and it looked like the band was definitely rocking. So that was real good, and was glad to see that he is still an amazing performer. He might not be performing all the time with the Jacksons, but even when he's with the B.B. King Blues Band, he still shows that he's got it. And he talked a little bit in his intro about how the blues meant a lot to him, and apparently his dad had a guitar that he didn't want the older kids, Marlon and Tito, to touch. But, as he said, kids being kids, he was going to touch it, and eventually his mother realized what he was doing and kind of encouraged him to go ahead. And I think his dad got over it and basically told him, if you're going to touch it, you got to learn certain kind of music. So I think that as a youngster, he was even learning the blues. Back then, it's kind of the gist of what the conversation I got from him. So that was real cool. And then one other thing before we get to our guests that I've got to give a shout-out to is the Milwaukee Brewers. They will be in the National League pennant championship game. They swept the Colorado team. And, it's been a long time coming. They've made 3 pennant runs. They won the pennant as an American League team in '82 when I was in college. So, that was a long time ago when I was in college, and they won that year and lost in the World Series. But I remember being on the streets on Wisconsin Avenue as part of the celebrations. I tried to go to the library. I tried to go to the first floor. I think I want to say, if I remember correctly, the library at that time was actually off of Wisconsin Avenue. There was just too much noise, too much racket going on. So I said, I'm going to be smart. I'm going to go to the basement. There was still too much noise and too much racket. So being a young man, I just gave in and joined the party. I remember going down Wisconsin Avenue, I believe it was 1982, just high-fiving people down the street and celebrating us winning the pennant that year. And then they didn't do anything till 2011 when they made it to the National League pennant and lost that one. So this will be our 3rd time, and I, for one, as a fan of the Milwaukee Brewers, was hoping that old saying is true, that the 3rd time is the charm.
It's the charm. I hear that, bro. So hopefully it will be, again, shout out to the Milwaukee Brewers. So they did their thing. And they'll continue to do so. So hopefully you'll be in a quieter place, this go round if you're not out there making the majority of the noise yourself.
Yeah, might have to make it to a sports bar or something like that. I just realized recently in talking to some friends of mine that, we have 2 minor league teams that are around this area that a lot of people know because they get covered. That being, of course, the Durham Bulls, which a lot of people know anyway because of the movie and things of that nature. But there's also the Carolina Mudcats, which used to be a Reds affiliate, but I learned that in 2017 they became a Brewers affiliate, and I believe that their home base is in Cary, which isn't that far from us. So I've learned that I've actually got some North Carolina roots to the Brewers as well because they are one of the affiliate franchises. I can't remember whether they're I know the Bulls are the one step away from the majors, which I believe is AAA. I want to say that the Mudcats might either be single A or double A, but, they're still in the farm system to get you up to the show. So it was good to know that we have a local ties in North Carolina to that as well. And then on the serious side, because, we got to mention this, I understand that we have another clown in the circus because they went ahead and appointed the man. Some people came and actually folded, and they voted for him, even though they claim to be liberals and moderates and things of that nature, but they folded, and they have added another clown to the circus.
Another clown has indeed joined the circus. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, regardless, that good old boy network is strong. So they take care of each other, and they brought another questionable person into the to the bench by way of the Supreme Court. So we'll see what ends up with it, right?
That's right.
Well, we got somebody at the door, man, and we're getting ready to let them in. It's Straight Talk with Dean and Mark. You can call in and join the conversation at 646-668-8393. But right now, we are bringing our guest in. Tell us who you are, where you're calling from. You're on with us tonight.
Hi, guys. My name is Alice Sarti. I am calling in from Raleigh, North Carolina. And let's see a little bit about me. I'm a poet. I'm a very busy single parent of a 3-year-old boy. And, lots of different things about me that we can talk about.
Definitely. Alice, I've had the pleasure of knowing you for a while. I've thoroughly enjoyed the book that you have given me, Songs from the Psych Ward, and I really must say that the words that you put on this book for me were very special and meant a lot because you wrote on the forward to me, Dear Mark, thank you for all the poetry and art and beauty you make happen out of the spotlight. You sparked more inspiration than you can imagine. Best wishes, Alice. And coming from you, that really did mean a lot because I do try to encourage our arts community, both around the triangle and just around. I mean, it's a natural thing for me. My dad being a visual artist. As a matter of fact, he's got artwork right now hanging up at the Nash here, along with some other artists that I know as well. But it was just great to hear those words from you, and I know that you actually joined the poetry community. Could you tell us, our listeners, a little bit about what drew you to the poetry community? And then we'll go into a little bit about your poetry, because you have some amazing poems that I really do want to hear you recite and everything. But what drew you into the poetry world in the Raleigh-Durham area?
Yeah, thanks. So it's kind of an interesting story. I originally found spoken word, stumbled on spoken word and poetry slams actually when I was in college. One of my college roommates, who has since become the poet laureate of Queens, amazing poet by the name of Ishel Park. She and I used to, she said, hey, you want to check this thing out on a Friday night? And we took the trip, the walk out to New York Poetry Cafe on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, actually kind of Alphabet City. And they had a slam every Friday night. It started with an open mic, and I had just never experienced anything like it. And I've written my whole life. I've always written, but seeing the how breath and voice and hands and body just were able to bring those words to life. It was back in the day when folks like Taylor Molly and Bo Sia and all kinds of, foundational people in the spoken word community were just there on a Friday night. So I don't think I ever got up the nerve to actually slam when I was in school, but I did do open mics over there. And after I graduated, I just thought, well, it's New York City. It's amazing that this art form is here, but I'm moving to North Carolina. I don't think anything like this is gonna be around again. So I just kind of put it out of my head. And then maybe like 2013 or so, I was going through a lot of transitions in my life and started looking around and heard about Bull City and the Jambalaya Soul Slam, and was just kind of shocked that this art form was here, which I shouldn't be. That's a very elitist New Yorker type of attitude to have, so shame on me, because there's amazing arts and art scenes going on down here in all different facets. But yeah, I went, checked it out again, kind of haunted open mics. I have to say, it's really the encouragement of some of the real pioneers in this area. Jasana Hanu at one point pulled me aside and said, you've got something here, you've got a gift here, and you might want to think about really seeing what you can do with it. And when Dasana Hanu tells you that, you kind of sit up and pay attention. Maybe he says it to everyone, I don't know. But for me in that moment, that was kind of my my call, that I need to kind of pay more attention to this and get more serious about it. So it was really the poets here who just welcomed me with open arms, and who took me in, and they had no reason to. I mean, Mark, I looked different than a lot of poets on the local scene. I was probably one of the only white poets on the scene at that time, and people just welcomed me so warmly and said, no, you have a place here, you have something to contribute, your voice matters. And so that, since then I've just tried to make folks proud.
I think you've done a great job of that, and you've definitely made folks really proud with a lot of your works. Now, I don't know if you would consider yourself this, but when I think of your poetry, you definitely lend a very strong voice to the women poets around here. And yes, there are other women poets around, but you're one of those poets that is not afraid to, and I know there are others. We've had Kimberly on the show here in the past. We've actually had Deshaun on, and there's others that I'm hoping to have on, like Monica Day, but you're not afraid to tackle some of the haunting issues that have happened in your life in the past, whether that's the relationship that you had that led to the child and the subsequent breakup that has made you a single parent, or whether that's some of the abuse that you faced. So at what point did you feel comfortable enough to share some of your personal stories and to put those words on paper?
Yeah, that's a great question, because I don't know that I ever consciously said, let me, just let it all hang out. I think it's kind of how I've always written. I've always, my writing has always been